something that we need to keep for all of our life. I think it's the amazing ability children have to solve their problems on their own and to bounce back. You know, it's like, okay, my shoes got wet, I solved it. I solved it, you know, and it's not about pushing away the sadness, but believing in yourself and thinking that you're going to be better and that you're going to solve a problem creatively.
And you are the filmmakers behind this amazing short film, Tres Pies or 3 Feet. Yeah,
That's right.
I saw it this
That's right.
morning. It's an amazing film. So before we get into what inspired you to make it and you know, the amazing young star, tell us a little bit about the film for people that haven't seen it.
Okay, so 3 Feet is the story of the amazing journey of Gonzalo, a Colombian 10-year-old boy who has the most difficult task of his life to arrive to school with clean shoes. Gonzalo is a football lover, so then that's what makes it so difficult for him because he loves playing soccer all over town. So it's a story about the challenges that children face every day and the problems they solve while they are going to school.
Okay, so the first thing that I picked up from this film, I gotta say, it takes me back to when I was a kid and those simple things, right? Those simple things that you have to overcome or everything. But I really noticed, because this film takes place in Colombia, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow, schools are really strict in Colombia.
Yes, actually they are not so much right now. Well, because of this whole situation, but before, I think the film represents parts of my own childhood, you know. And here most schools have uniform. I think that's something very common within the Latin American community, you know. The relation to the uniform, the relationship with it, it's always somehow complicated because it's hard being a kid and loving to play and be creative but not get messy. So yeah, it's sort of a statement against like this part of adulthood where we think that children need to be cleaned up all the time and be like pristine in their dressing. It's like, come on, it's a kid, he loves football, let him play, you know. So it's a bit of a critic to that school system that I also grew up in.
Well, the 10-year-old me would totally be down, you know. Natalia, why did you get involved in this film? Why did you want to get involved and help produce this short film?
Okay, we met with Giselle during a study. We were making a specialization in children's content. It was like 5 years ago. So we met there and I watched the teaser of 3 Feet and was like, okay, so we're together. In that moment was like all the development of the script. And we decided to work, was our first work. After that, we have made another short films. Right now we have another documentary short film that I direct in Mexico. So 3 Feet was like the beginning and like a work team.
Mhm.
So really, I like discovered that in that script when I met Giselle, there was like a unique point of view as director. I love the story, but I love too how she described the landscape, the town. I love that she makes like a fiction, but at the same time she makes like a little bit like documentary.
It
Like
had that feel.
yes, in some scenes, and I work documentary, so I was like very curious about what was be the result of that. So really, I think that we join in a very important moment of all this process, and we get all like the funds, and we could do it like a reality, and we could make it and produce. So real has been a very like a joyful experience to work together.
Where in Colombia was this filmed?
The film is placed at Pamplona. which is in the Norte de Santander region. It's like the northeast side of the country, and it's really nearby the mountain range of Los Andes. So that's why it's a town surrounded by mountains, and it's also a very ancient town. It was one of the first towns to be founded in Colombia. So my region has not been portrayed a lot in cinema. So I really felt as a filmmaker from here, from Norte de Santander, that I really wanted to portray a story that represented us and our culture.
Yeah, there's something about small towns in South America that really need to be explored more. They're magic, and maybe that's also why the school experience is so strict. You know, when you're in a small town, it's not looser. It's actually you have more, you know, they're more paying attention to you as a kid, maybe in a situation. It was very cool. And as far as first being settled by Spain, that's why that area has so many Spanish. Pamplona, Santander, those are all Spanish town names, right? They're like renamed in that part of Colombia.
Exactly.
Yes, actually, all the towns have like the same distribution, the space. It's a church and a principal like park, and it's the same time like the Spanish towns. So the distribution it's similar. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Now, is there a real need for more children's content in Spanish or Latin America, or dealing with Latin American characters and storylines? Do you really see a lack of that?
Yeah, we really do see a lack of that. And that's why we started our own production company, which is named Pescadito Films, in which we dedicate ourselves to researching, producing, distributing films that are live action films with children for children. So there is a pedagogical approach to it, and also a very like, let's take entertainment and our culture into the big screen. You know, we really want the children to feel represented, and the Latin American children to feel represented in the screen. So that's why we're working towards that, like very focused.
Yeah, I mean, that's so important because, you know, here at LETV, we talk about, especially, you know, we're a lot of, you know, Latinos here in the United States. We want to see more of our culture in the mainstream, you know, in the content that we see in film and television. But you've got to start as a kid. If as a kid, you're not seeing any bit of yourself or your life or your family in mainstream media, you know, you feel kind of left out, and you wonder you know, what is it about me that I'm not included? So it's really good that you're taking that mission. Now, the star of this movie, tell us about him. I want to make him my honorary little brother. I want to play some soccer with him. If he comes by LA anytime soon, let him know. I'll meet him in the park. We can kick the ball around. He's amazing.
Yeah, actually, all the actors of the film are something that we call like natural actors, which means that they are not professional actors. They have not been trained before, and we train them to be part of the film through a very beautiful and collective process. I have to say that we are very grateful to all the people in Pamplona, because they put their heart, their faces, like all the resources to our disposal to tell this story. So the main character is a kid from Pamplona. His name is Santiago Perales, and his whole family acted in the film. Like his mother in the film is the actual mother. His brother, there is a bullying scene that it's very interesting, and his brother is one of the boys of the bullying scene. So that was fun to shoot, you know, because it was all make believe, all play. And it's like a family of actors that were discovered through the film.
Wow, that's
Yes,
interesting.
and
Go ahead,
another
Natalia.
thing, actually, Santiago, it's a player. He plays football. He plays
Yeah.
soccer, and it's a very, very good player. So he was like perfect to that character.
Okay, well, now you might be diverting his destiny. I mean, before, I'm sure everybody thought he was going to be a soccer player, but he might end up being an actor, or hopefully both.
Yeah, let's wait and see. Like, it was very interesting that we could show the children that participated in this story, like the word of cinema, you know, because a story has not been shot in Pamplona before, and all the people got involved with the film somehow in Pamplona. So it was great that the children were amazed with the production, and there were like really serious actors, you know. It's like I was really humbled by the way they approach like the scenes, and they are the best script doctors of your life, you know. They tell you like, I don't believe that that line is wrong, you know, I wouldn't say that. So that's something that you need to hear a lot when you are creating for children. So that was amazing. Even the people at the farmers market, they participated in the workshop, in the acting workshop with us. So if you see the butcher there, then that's the actual town's butcher that presented a casting and rehearsed for like 4 months to be in the animation scene.
The little diablitos. Yeah, that was okay. So the animation, I didn't expect the animation, to be honest with you. I really just was expecting when it started, like, you know, a nice, intimate, short film, and I'm following this kid, and then you break out into the animation, and it's like, whoa, okay, that's, you know, that's a little kind of cool and trippy. How did that come about?
It's really, it's like the vision of Gonzalo. So the idea is that he is like all around the town, and he arrives to that market, and you with the animation, you go inside his mind. Yes, so you begin like to see what he sees. Yes, and it's another world. So he wants to be like they're playing, and he'll listen to the people yelling, and the batucada. That's called the music that's around. That's from Brazil. That's the like a typical music that you listen with people is playing soccer. So it's like the animation. Really, you are inside the mind of Gonzalo. It's like a fantasy.
That's amazing.
So really, it's very, very beautiful to make it.
Yeah, and a shout out to our animator, which is also a Colombian guy and a friend named Nicolas Guarin. And he lives in Japan like for 6 years now. So in that time, we were working like long distance, and we sent all the footage from Pamplona to Japan so he could draw all the animation by hand, you know, and send it back to us, because he used a very special technique which is called rotoscope, in which first you shoot the scenes in the farmers market with all the people there, and you send it over to the animator so he can draw over it. So it was like a beautiful work. We feel very, very proud of working with him. And it took him like 3,000 drawings to make the animation for 3 feet. So that's why it's so outstanding. It's so professional looking.
A really cool rotoscoping movie, A Scanner Darkly. I suggest you watch it. Have you ever seen that one? Yeah.
Which one? A Scanner?
I think it's called A Scanner Darkly.
Okay.
It was like early 2000s, all rotoscoping. I forgot who directed it, but it was really cool. So yeah, that's a very cool effect. A couple of last things. Well, first of all, I just want to say that, you know, it is a film, you know, about a child, for children, but really adults can really get into this film, and it really reminds you of what it's like to be a kid. The film itself, because as an adult, you're sometimes waiting for the complication, relationship things, the, you know, some of the layered things that people have to navigate that we kind of create really ourselves. Some of these overt issues that we have to play out as adults as we grow up. But as a kid, it's a really streamlined, simple thing, right? You got to get through these obstacles. One, your shoes have got to be clean, or they're going to take your soccer ball away. It really comes out of that. And then the bully getting in the way, or the ball getting away from you and landing, you know, God knows where. It's amazing to make the universe so simplified, right? And sometimes we need to revisit that as adults, that simplified, straightforward universe and it actually makes more things possible, right? When you simplify the universe. I think less things are possible when you complicate your universe, and that's what we do as adults. So that you can capture that, Giselle, is a very, very cool thing. Like, where do you go as far as to get into that mindset creatively?
Actually, there is one word that I feel represents the film and describes what you just told, and it's children's resilience, you know, like more than the ability of enjoying the little things, which is something that we need to keep for all of our life. I think it's the amazing ability children have to solve the problems on their own and to bounce back. You know, it's like, okay, my shoes got wet, I solved it, you know. And it's not about pushing away the sadness, but believing in yourself and thinking that you're going to be better and that you're going to solve a problem creatively. So really, the heart of the film and of our production company is to respect children, to value their point of view, and to learn from them in every production we do. You know, like we learn from their resilience, from their creativity, from the way they enjoy life with new eyes every time, from their passion, and also like they learn a bit from us about film.